I'm Chung, and today I'll be talking about UK undergraduate university admissions. A bit about me. I am an I-level ambassador. I've done primary school in Hong Kong at SISHK, after which I went to UK for high school at Oundle, and now I'm a university second year student at Imperial College London. Now, UCAS. Everything of UK undergraduate university admissions concerns UCAS, which is the short for Universities and Colleges Admissions Service. Everything is done on UCAS and all can be found on this website. I would really recommend you giving this a browse. Today I'll talk about the key dates to watch out for, which unis and courses to apply to, your personal statement, what happens after you apply, what happens when you get your results, and I'll end off with my tips for current students based on my previous experience. Now, these are some of the key dates to look out for. I've created a timeline, an average timeline. So the deadlines for different years will have different dates. So bear in mind you need to check on UCAS. Now, June or July, you should have finished the penultimate year exams, which are really important as they contribute massively to your predicted grade and determine the universities and courses you can apply to. At this time, you should also start opening a UCAS account as there is a lot of information to fill in, and you should start looking for courses and unis to apply to. After that, make sure you do further reading, research, and find some relevant job opportunities. In October, this is the application deadline for Oxbridge, medicine, veterinary, and dentistry courses. In January and February, this is the application deadline for all other courses and is also the start of UCAS Extra application. More on this later. In July, June, and August, you should have received all good or bad news, depending on your results. And clearing adjustment will start, and this is also the deadline for UCAS Extra. In September or October, this is the entry deadline for the application year, and all choices by unis would be made. This is also the deadline for clearance. I'll talk more about clearance later. Now, unis and courses to apply to. So how to decide what course you want to apply to? This should be based on what you enjoy. Make sure you play to your strengths. Think for the future. Think about job prospects. If you do an undergraduate course in English, if you do a bachelor's course in English, what jobs can that potentially open up to? There are different types of courses. So there's bachelor, which majority of the population do. There's also foundation and apprenticeship. As not many people do a foundation and apprenticeships, I will not cover this. This information can be found online on the UCAS website. And when you apply, you need to choose 5 different courses, which bear in mind, different courses can also be at the same uni. Now, universities. The complete university guide gives a good outline of graduate prospects, student satisfaction, the level of research conducted there. But when you choose what uni you want to study, you may also look at the location, the course structure. So, for example, in biology, some unis may focus more on plants, whereas some unis may focus more on the human body. Now, most importantly, your predictions determine which universities you can apply to, as universities have minimum requirements. For Hong Kong students, I would recommend having a look at the English requirement, because UK universities really require all their university students to be proficient at English. So IELTS is an exam which Hong Kong students can take to show that they're proficient, but some universities also accept GCSEs. Now, to enter some of the unis, they may require interviews or admissions and entrance exams. In June or July, after the penultimate year exams, make sure you sign up and go to open days or events, as you will really get a feel of what studying at the university is like, and you can also try out some of their facilities, like their labs. Obviously, open days can be online, but obviously it's much better to be there in person. Now, your personal statement. After you've chosen which 5 courses you want to do, this is your chance to express yourself. Let unis know why they should take you, why you deserve to be there. Now, personal statement is just as important as your grades. Unis use personal statements to filter out the top crop of students they want. make sure you remember that universities will have to read through many other personal statements. So write something that will attract their attention and keep them reading. And bear in mind, what in your personal statement will make you stand out from the others? When you do your personal statement, make sure you get all the help you need. Talk to teachers, seniors, tutors. Remember, the more opinions about your personal statement, the better, so you can keep refining. And also, start your personal statement early, so you give yourself more time to refine, you leave yourself more time for error, etc. This is my list of personal statement do's and don'ts. Do's: write about things outside the content taught at high school level, but make sure you relate the outside content to what you have learned, and mention why you chose to investigate further and why it made you curious. Make sure you're direct, because there is a word limit, and most, if not all, applicants end up cutting down many words. Make sure your personal statement is nicely structured and paragraphed. Make sure it is intriguing. Make sure it captivates your target audience. Write a short paragraph on what you do outside academics. Tell them who you are and what you like doing. Do you play any musical instruments? Do you play any sports? And mention relevant achievements. These can be relevant to the course that you're studying or a bit about your character. So for example, if you're a prefect, if you won an award for maths. And again, make sure you ask teachers, tutors, and qualified people to read and give feedback. The refining process is very important. Now, what not to do in your personal statement? Don't state knowledge or further readings or research that you don't have a good understanding on. This is really important you remember this, as universities could ask you about your personal statement in an interview. Don't only rely on grammar and spelling check, and make sure it is written in good English language. Don't use fancy vocabulary that you're not sure about. Don't mention accolades from a long time ago, for example, a science award from 4th grade. Don't procrastinate. Don't leave it to the last minute. Start early, because again, you need to leave room for error, time for error, and make sure there is a good, let's say, a good 1 month process where you keep refining your personal statement, thinking about what stuff to leave in, what stuff to possibly leave out. Don't plagiarize. Do not copy any other personal statements from the past. And don't have humor, as your reader may not find it as funny as you do. Now, what happens after application? Some courses and unis require applicants to be interviewed and or have the admissions test taken. The uni will then decide whether to give an offer or not. Now, so your school may provide support on interviews and admissions tests, but I'll also give you, in my opinion, what to expect and how to prepare. For interviews, make sure you can answer questions about your personal statement, very important. Make sure you do further reading relating to what you have learned. Make sure you practice answering problems and, more importantly, explaining as you go. This is because in the interview, the university won't expect you to understand everything they ask, but they want to know your thought process, which is why you need to articulate well. And finally, revising taught content. Having a good foundation is important. For admissions tests, make sure you revise what has been taught. Make sure you review on the university's website about what can be expected. And on the university website, you may find some past papers. So make sure you try to do one of those under exam conditions. Now, after applying, receiving offers. There are a few types of offers that you can receive from a university. Conditional is where you must meet the conditions in order to be accepted. Unconditional is where if you accept, you will be attending to that university. Your application is successful. You can also have your offer withdrawn. If the course requires an interview or an admissions test, the uni will only send the offer after. And once you get all your offers, you can only accept 2 of them. One as your firm, and one is insurance. Your firm is your first choice, and your insurance is your backup if the firm offer has not been met. So, for example, if your firm offer is, let's say, AAA, make sure your insurance is lower than that. So to make sure, so this is in the case, fingers crossed, where you don't get good results in your final exams, you can still meet the offer for your insurance university. Now, if all 5 courses have not given an offer, an extra choice may be added, which is where UCAS Extra comes in. Results day. If you get good results and they meet the offer, your place is confirmed. Universities may offer a place from a different course, although this is less likely. If both firm and insurance offers are not met, make sure you appeal to the exam board to see if you can bump up your score. It is important to note that an appeal may even lower the score. Now, the clearing process is about finding vacant university places. If you have to go through clearing, make sure you consult your decisions with the school, your careers department, and also call universities. This is so that you can check if there's any openings and to see if they may reconsider accepting you even though you have not met your offer. This is because some applicants may not reach their offer as well, and there may be quite a few vacant spaces. Clearing Plus is a matching service that matches you to a course at a university. Now, if you exceed the university's requirements on their offer, let's say you are the offer they've given you is a BBB, but you get a AAA in exams, you can use UCAS adjustment service to check if there's an opportunity to get into courses with higher requirements. But bear in mind, competitive courses are probably full, but some places may open up due to applicants missing their offer. And UCAS adjustments still allows all your current offers to be kept, so they will not decline them. Now finally, these are my personal tips for current students. Penultimate year exams are very important, and in my opinion, they may even be more important than your final year exams, so do not underestimate their importance. Remember, penultimate year exam grades contribute massively to your prediction, which determine which universities you can apply to. Maintaining a good working standard throughout the academic year, as again, predictions are based on your work throughout the academic year. So don't only put an effort into final exams. Start your personal statement early, and as soon as you have an idea of what course to apply to. Again, giving time for error, giving time for further research, and knowing what you need to include in your personal statement. For example, hey, I haven't had any work experience yet. Maybe it's time to get some work experience. Look for here goes my next point. Look for relevant work experience and do further research in the summer before the final year. Make sure you keep talking to teachers, friends, parents, tutors, and seniors about the application process. The more opinions, the better. And sometimes when you talk to your peers, you may find out you're actually missing out on something. And it's something you need to pay more attention to. Do everything to reduce panic. Be prepared mentally and physically for exams, and make sure you have no regrets after. Once an exam is done and the results are out, don't dwell on the mistakes and misdoings. Move on. Learn from your mistakes. Make sure you set a good routine that can be kept up with, and don't overplan your day. Here are some useful links. The Uni Guide is a much more lengthier document that you may find useful. And thank you for your time. I hope you found this useful.